Where is Michael Crichton when you need him? He was gone all too soon, but certainly he would have had something to say about this story here. We have anti-aging news breaking out of China, research being done in China on age reversal. In an article titled Restoring Youth, scientists use engineered cells to restore vitality in primates. From Eureka Alert, we get the following. In a study published in Cell on June 13th, 2025, researchers from the Chinese Academy of Sciences and Capital Medical University have made a breakthrough in the fight against aging. Utilizing cutting-edge synthetic biology techniques, they reprogrammed the genetic pathways associated with longevity, creating a new type of human stem cell called senescence-resistant mesenchymal progenitor cells, SRCs. So first off, mesenchymal, you have to get yourself a better agent because there is no M in SRC. So these cells are like supercharged construction workers, resistant to aging and stress, and do not turn into tumors. The more remarkable the more remarkable is that these cells have successfully reversed multiple signs of aging in non-human primates. Not stopped, not paused, reversed. Successfully reversed multiple signs of aging in non-human primates, our closest biological relatives. This is the first time such comprehensive rejuvenation has been achieved in a species so similar to humans through stem cell therapy. They conducted a 44-week experiment on elderly macaques in this study, which are physiologically equivalent to humans in their 60s and 70s. The macaques received biweekly intravenous injections of SRCs at a dose of 2 times 10 to the 6th cells per kilogram of body weight. Throughout the study, the researchers closely monitored the animal's health. They found no adverse effects, no fever, immune overreactions, or weight loss. Detailed histopathological assessments also confirmed that the transplanted cells did not cause tissue damage or tumors. In other words, the SRCs were not only effective but also safe. Now, these words that are being highlighted here, uh, safe and tumor. No tumors in these individuals. As I understand it, one of the sort of things that keeps raising up in studies like this, one of the problems that gets in the way is that these treatments, for some reason, often cause cancers. And obviously, you don't want to extend your life by 30 years only to be ridden with cancer the entire time. So it is an interesting thing that whatever it is they're doing now, and I'm going to be 100% honest, I read this article, I listened to David Friedberg on the All In podcast. This is over my head. I don't understand this. I am doing my best here to communicate it, but I do not understand what is going on here. But this appears to be something quote unquote safe that does not cause tumors, does not cause cancer in the recipient of these altered cells or vibrant, ultra vibrant cells. I have no idea exactly what it is that's going on here. However, the real magic happened when the researchers examined the broader impact of the SRCs. Imagine a city not just fixing one broken bridge, but revitalizing its entire infrastructure. The SRCs triggered multi-system rejuvenation reversing key markers of aging across 10 major physiological systems and 61 different tissue types. I didn't even know you had 61 different tissue types. The treated primates showed improved cognitive function, not plateaued cognitive function, improved cognitive function. And tissue analyses revealed a reduction in age-related degenerative conditions such as brain atrophy, osteoporosis, fibrosis, and lipid buildup. At the cellular level, the SRCs reduced the number of senescent cells, suppressed inflammation, and increased the populations of progenitor cells in neural and reproductive tissues. They even stimulated sperm production. It's a weird thing to get some monkeys together and try to figure out, but whatever rocks your Casbah. Molecularly, the SRCs enhanced genomic stability, improved the response to oxidative stress, and restored proteostasis. Over 50% of the tissues examined showed a reversal of aging related genes expressions networks to a younger state. Single cell analyses revealed a significant reversal of age related gene expression profiles in peripheral blood cells, 33%, hippocampus, 42%, and ovarian tissue. So, your blood, which is key to life, right? Just constantly cycling through you, that's what keeps you alive. Your brain and your reproductive tissues, the ovarian tissue there. Machine learning based aging clocks estimated that the biological age of immature neurons was aged back 6 to 7 years by the oocytes by 5 years. This is the biggest point in my opinion. So one thing that I don't remember if they address it, so it says 6 to 7 years. I don't know what that is in humans, right? So the sort of correlation between the macaques and the humans, what is 6 or 7 macaque years in human years? But this is the biggest point in my estimation here. Reversing brain deterioration is absolutely wild. Imagine our greatest minds, our greatest artists, our greatest business thinkers, our greatest politicians, if we ever get any of those, our greatest, whatever it is you want to say, whatever it is you want to look up to, the greatest inventors of our time having 20 or 30 extra years of prime time functioning because of whatever treatment this is. This is seemingly also, I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, but this is highly suggestive that this is a cure for something like Alzheimer's, is it not? This is highly suggestive that what we're looking at is a cure for basically anything of the any disease of the brain that has to do with deterioration. Basically, it seems to be if another question I have is if these things themselves do not cause cancer, does their presence in a host prevent cancer? So if it's not outright causing cancer, despite the fact that it is exogenous, is it, and it reverses aging? Aging is one of the things that factors into, under my understanding, some cancers. Is it possible that these things being introduced to their host helps reduce cancer risks? So these are questions that I have, but I don't know where to get those answers. And finally here, then how about the mechanisms of the SRC's remarkable effects? These researchers found that the SRCs release tiny packets known as exomes, which play a crucial role in the rejuvenation process. These exomes contain molecules that not only suppress chronic inflammation, but also maintain the stability of the genome and epigenome. There are a significant reduction in organ degeneration in mice with exomes administration. I misread some part of that sentence, but The in vitro studies demonstrated that these exomes show rejuvenate ability in several human cell types, such as neurons, ovarian cells, vascular endothelial cells, and hepatocytes. For all you feet guys. This suggests that exomes signaling may be a key mechanism in reversing the aging process. As I recall from what David Friedberg was said, this suggesting that the exome signaling may be a key mechanism in reversing the aging process, that sentence is written that way because they don't know why. This suggests this thing might do that, and they don't understand it. These discoveries position SRC therapy as a promising intervention for multi-system aging. Multi-system aging, what an HR term. It offers two major breakthroughs. First, this study provides the first primate-level evidence supporting the safety of cell therapy, demonstrating that long-term administration at clinically relevant doses elicits no immunogenicity or tumorigenicity. These are not my vocabulary words. I apologize. This finding overcomes a major translational barrier for human applications. Second, the results reveal broad geroprotective effects across multiple physiological systems, including the nervous, reproductive, and immune systems, highlighting the capacity to restore function in interdependent aging processes. Such a multi-system process surpasses conventional single-target interventions and aligns with the conserved aging mechanisms shared by primates and humans. Basically, what this is saying, as far as I understand it, is one of the promising things about this type of treatment is that what you're doing is you're going in and making everything better. You're not taking, now they used the road system analogy earlier, but what I'm going to say is you're not taking, you've got a broken bookshelf. This is not taking in random pieces of plyboard, nails, and a hammer. This is bringing in new shelves, resetting the shelf, and letting the books sit on top of them. As I understand it, that is what this is, saying the entire thing, your brain, your blood, your reproductive systems, all of it upgraded immediately. Beyond establishing a robust preclinical foundation for human trials, this work advances anti-aging research by proposing a unified systems level strategy to counteract age-related multi-morbidity. One thing I have to ask, what are the limits to this? If you double the dose that these monkeys are getting, does it double the effectiveness? If you triple it, does it triple the effectiveness? As opposed to being 5 to 7 years or 6 to 7 years younger in monkey years, can you make them 14, 15, 20 years younger in monkey years? How does that work? Number two, this does raise great big questions. Look, we have a problem with population collapse. Now, there are myriad companies working on humanoid bots that are supposed to stem the tide of losing out on so many humans. What if we just live longer instead? That is an ethical question. Do you run the risk of overpopulation? Because maybe by the time, and look, mentioned ovarian tissues, by the time you get into your 60s and 70s, maybe you are. financially stable enough to have a kid. And now you have these miracle cells that make that okay, make that a possibility. Will we get to the point where dying is a choice? Who wants to live past 150? Or will this just open us up to more and more painful forms of death? Maybe. So cancer gets rid of a lot of people, takes a lot of people out. Cancer, oftentimes, again, as I understand it, perhaps I am wrong, a lot of cancers, the probability for them gets worse the older you are. What if cancer is just the big bad until you hit, say, 120? But after 120, there's this other thing, and it's not cancer, but it really sucks, right? What if there is some other type of breaking down that happens here? Now, if we're getting sci-fi, here's the thing that's interesting to me. If we're getting sci-fi, right? If we're talking about stories that Michael Crichton could tell around this type of science, Michael Crichton was good at taking different things and mashing them together. So, chaos theory and cloning. All of a sudden, you have, that's right, Jurassic Park. Religion and time travel. All of a sudden, you have Sphere. What if we can insert these cells into your brain and your brain's still there and your brain reverses in aging, but it's not completely your brain anymore? What if it changes your relationship with consciousness? We would never know this from the monkeys. All of a sudden, you get some of these cells and you start having split brain type reactions. That is an interesting thing to think about. Anyway, guys, that's what I have for this one. If you like or appreciate what it is that I do here, hitting a like button really does help me out, as it tells YouTube to share this with other people. If you find yourself here by chance but not design, this is the sort of thing that I do on this channel. So consider hitting the subscribe button, stick around for more, and as always, I hope to have you back for the next one.